All right, it seems to me like basically nobody has any videos about the Rancher 460, Husqvarna Rancher 460. There's a lot of stuff about 455s and stuff about aftermarket fuel tanks and stuff about how to manufacture your own fuel vent for the gas tank. But basically nobody's talking about this 460. So I figured since nothing was out there, and I had to figure everything out the hard way, I would put something out in case somebody else is looking for the same info. Main thing is, this was a chainsaw that was bogging down, and then when I would shut it off, it was making a sucking sound. I've done a lot of small engine work, but not too much with two strokes, so I didn't really know what was going on, and I realized it needed air in the gas tank so the fuel could get out of it. So the sucking sound was it trying to get fuel through the little vent. Some in the old days, I guess there was little external vents for the tube on the old stills, and some places I even found gas tanks where the cap was vented itself, just like in a car. But on this saw, the 460, it's this little thing. So this is a 501-152-901. I think that's a Husqvarna number. And it's got it's almost like a little stone pumice something. And in the old one, you can see the old one has I kind of tore it apart to get it out. The old one, this is the broken off piece. All right. And it had this little piece of gold looking thing on the other, wait, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. This little piece of gold looking thing kind of sitting right in here inside the plastic tube that sticks up off the one that's not broken. The reason it's broken is the way I got it out was I took a screw, like a regular construction screw, and slowly edged it in through the hole of the tube. So in other words, the screw was coming right down into that little hole, and that way I was able to pull up on it to get it out of the spot where it goes, because the spot where it goes is right here. You can see where I tried with pliers a couple times. That's why it's kind of scratched up around the hole. So this will set right down in there like that, actually. Now I don't know why that doesn't look like it's gonna stay, so I'm gonna figure out what I gotta put, like some kind of adhesive or grease or combo thing, silicone. I don't know. I'm gonna look that up, figure that out. Because right now, if I tip that over, no, I guess not. Doesn't seem to want to come out after all. So maybe it's in there for good. We'll see. So I remember I said maybe I need to put some silicone or some adhesive, and I was kind of like, I don't really want to make a mess in there, goop it all up, or get it stuck forever if it ever needs to come out again. So I started thinking maybe I would put like a little strip of electric tape, cut it to the right size, and roll it around it like that. I have another one here because I bought two of them. And then I got to looking at it and I realized if you look really carefully, kind of has a little taper on the end of it, a flange. It kind of goes, it starts narrow, gets a little wider, and gets a little narrower again. And I thought, oh, that's kind of like a little Lego button. Maybe it snaps in. So I put it in there, and I found what I use. Oh yeah, perfect tool for it. A broken socket extension. Just stuck it in there. Just happens to be the right size. I pushed down on it, and sure enough, it went click. Kind of felt a little snap. Not a big one, but just a little notched click. And sure enough, now when I go to pull it out with gently tug on it with these needle nose, nothing, it won't come. It's good enough for me, especially since the air is going to be sucking in on it. If anything, it's going to get pulled in by the air. That's where that goes. Took me a while to find where it even was supposed to go, and I'll show you why. This was on there, took that off, and then under here, what needed to come off still was this black cover, plastic cover here. These wires are shut-off wires. They're basically like, well, one's a coil, and one is, two of them are, I think, just conductors to let the coil know it's allowed to work until you hit the shut-off switch. There, that's basically where that shut-off, see the shut-off switch here has this blue line, comes down here, and that shorts out the coil so it can't work. But anyway, those have to go on top of this plastic, so you kind of have to work them in there. It's kind of was a little tricky. You kind of get it up like this, and then pull them out. And then you're in here, and you can see that, and take your screw, gently put it in there so you don't mess anything up. Pull up on it, and you're good. And you can put it all back in and put the top cover. I didn't even really need to have the top cover off here for this, but it probably helped to have it out of the way. All right, so yeah, like I say, nobody's talking about the Rancher 460, which has been a great saw until it started bogging. So let's see if this repair even works. I'm not sure. It's the only thing wrong with it was this fuel vent, but considering it was sucking air every time I turned it off, I figured, well, a fuel vent was a good place to start. Maybe I'll put an update to say if it worked. If anybody has any information about the Rancher 460 that they could share with me, why it's so hard to find parts for it, why it's so hard to get anybody talking about it on YouTube, or anything I'm saying that isn't correct or could be done better, feel free to put it in the comments in a friendly way, and I'd be happy to include it in an update. All right, this is really just out there to help people if they're stuck with a bogging 460 Rancher.